Hi all, this is Dr. J, streaming live from Long Island, New York, where the weather was again chilly, drizzly for much of the day, but we got through it. It was a day to meet friends, to go out for lunch, to go to the mall. The mall. I'm telling you, I need roller skates to keep up with my wife when I go to the mall. She is so fast. Normally she moves slow. But at the mall, unbelievable. Anyway, I just want to look at three stocks that I think are going to run into earnings. They are Sangamo, a gene editing stock that is looking at a couple of indications. One of them is hemophilia, which obviously is a genetic mutation. Voyager Therapeutics, which is looking at a Parkinson's drug, which is also based on a genetic mutation of a gene. And the third is got nothing to do with that, but it's a stock that has been running really well and looks like it can easily continue running into earnings. And that's acrx, acrx. So that's, of course, a pain medication for emergency room use and sublingual. And so it immediately gets into the bloodstream, and also for post-operative use. I think that's close to approval. All right, so let's get into it. We're not that concerned about the fundamentals. We just want to take a look at the charts real quick, talk about the earnings date, and you guys can take it from there, whether you think it's worthwhile going into it or not. Let me know with comments. As always, do your own due diligence. My opinions are strictly my own, do not constitute investment advice. Good luck to all next week playing whatever it is that you're playing. Please keep us informed. We'd like to know what you're playing, what you like, biotech or not. I mean, biotech is my main interest, but hey, making money is my interest too. So let's get right to it. Of course, subscribe to the vlog if you haven't already. Tell your friends about me, share the link, write comments, give me a thumbs up, do all those good things. Okay, let's start with Voyager. We've seen this chart before because, you know, Dr. J has been in this for the ride. And the ride up from, where was it, $9 and change, all the way up to 22.50, then down to 18.60, now up to 23.37, and very close to taking out the high on, what day is this? 4/5, the high was 22.14. Once that goes, 22.50 is around the corner. Actually, it should take this high out first, which is strong resistance at 21.97. So it's got to break 22 in order to get to 22.50. I think that's rather obvious, and I think it will. So I mean, look at the chart. It's very nice. It's hugging the upper end of its new channel. I know it's slipped from its higher altitudes, but that's okay. It's regained traction. It's starting to move up again. So it has a little Momo going into earnings. Earnings is May 7th. And I don't know if it's after or before the close, probably after the close. And it's the all-important conference call. They do have a backer, AbbVie, big biotech. I think they're backing them on the Parkinson's study. And if they meet all milestones and so on, I think it's worth well over $1 billion to Voyager. And then the drug that they're developing can also probably be used for other indications, other neurodegenerative diseases that involve synuclein proteins, maybe Alzheimer's. I think Alzheimer's is one of them. I don't know too much about Alzheimer's, but I know Parkinson's. One of the associations, besides its decrease in dopamine, is alpha-synuclein protein clogs up the neurons. In any event, let's take a look at acrx next. So this has a beautiful speed channel, if you will. Speed channel. That's when it goes basically straight up, and one little dip going back up. Okay, and I believe the market is heading in the same direction, at least for the short term. So going into earnings, it could be it could be sitting very pretty, and I just hope we don't get a sell off after earnings. But I think going into earnings, it'll do very nicely. ACRX, XLRX up 8 pennies. It's had a very nice run. Its low is $2. It's now almost double that, and its high is $5 on the year. So it's much closer to the high than the low. Let's take a look at its chart. The earnings date is May 8th, the day after the Voyager earnings. So not this week, but next week is an exciting week for me on Voyager. And let's take a look. ACRX. Oh, beautiful! It's been following. It's been following and a beautiful trend line, and then turned parabolic. So I didn't actually draw the trend line, but you can see it. And then it turned parabolic. So do we pull back first? Yeah, maybe. Let's say it's possible. We pull back to 358, 360. I mean, it's had such a sensational run. It's had how many green days in a row? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 6 in a row. It's due to have a little pullback. So if it pulls back a little, no big deal. Then it makes its assault on the high of 3.5, which is 409. Takes that out. We're looking at a run to $5 before earnings. I'm not saying we make a new high there for the year, but we could come pretty close. So ACRX looking good in the charts. Little pullback. Probably if you're going to buy this, wait for a pullback and try to time it as best as you can. Sometimes when I wait for that pullback, I'm sorry, but more often than not, I get it. So it depends on how aggressive you are. SGMO, Sangamo, a gene editing drug, as I've said, into hemophilia and I think one other indication at this point. Let's see the trading range that we're looking at after its gap up on, I guess it was on news. After that, we're looking at a trading range of a low of 1140 on April 17 rather, to a high on April 2nd of 1391. So that's 1391 to 1140. It's a pretty nice little range. So where we are now is coming back off of the 1140, closed at 1209, and looking good going into earnings the week of May 6th. I couldn't get an exact date on earnings, but it's sometime during the week of May 6th, 6 through 10 is what's showing. Nice little trend line over the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days, heading in the right direction. A little resistance right at the top here. Takes that out. We're looking at the next high of 1280. I'd like to see that go before earnings. So 1280 should be taken out before earnings. And a good earnings report, I have every reason to believe we'd make a high above 1391. So let's say 13 before earnings, 14 after earnings, that would be sensational. It has the potential. Gene editing is very, very hot. I'm not sure what the deal was, what the news was here. Somebody could fill me in. I just didn't do my homework, I guess, enough on the fundamentals, but the chart is looking like it's wanting to come back and make a dent into this big red candle. So I feel confident in my mind that it will do that. Somewhere in the middle of this red candle, it'll find resistance, maybe take a breather before earnings. So let me just draw a horizontal line where I think that might be. And I think it might be right around the high here of 1296. So do I have a horizontal line? No. I have a vertical. I have just a regular line. Wonderful. And it doesn't matter. I'll approximate it. I'm approximating horizontal. All right, so this would be about 1296. Let me see how close I am. This is 1280. That's looking good. So 1296, call it $13, which was my guess before. $13 is looking very likely to me as a point of stiff resistance. I think it gets there before earnings. And if earnings report is strong, maybe it goes up and takes that out. If it's weak, of course, it's hard to judge what strong and weak is with biotech. It's more news related than earnings related. But if it's some negativity there, then it'll give back a lot because it's run up a lot. So I expect a continued run of another buck going into earnings. So for a swing trade, I'd be looking for 1295 with a stop at 1140. I guess so. Okay, so that about says it all for these three stocks. I like them all. Of course, I'm a sucker when it comes to biotech. I really, really like the sector, even though it's been severely punished by the constant chatter about lowering drug prices. And if you're going to lower drug prices, I always say this, make the FDA approval process much smoother, much more streamlined, somehow make it much quicker. Do something. If you want lower prices, then let it cost less to get a drug approved. This has been Dr. J streaming live from Long Island, New York, wishing you nothing but the best trading for next week. Keep in touch. I'll see you all on Monday. Ciao. Don't forget to subscribe.